If you don't get your framework dead flush and rock solid today, your van's interior will literally tear itself apart from the first pothole. Hitting that motorway at 70 miles per hour creates a violent vibrations. Weak framing means squeaky walls, cracked cladding and a ruined build. So today we are conquering the hardest parts of this Peugeot Boxer. The impossible gap over the cab and the complex curves on the rear doors. Now look, I've got 26 years swinging hammers and running sites in the trades. But let's get one thing straight before we start. I do not know it all. Every single van is a wild new beast. I'm just here sharing the hardcore trade secrets that keep my builds standing. Now, I am always hunting for better ways to do things. So if you spot a trick or have a different method as we go, now I want to hear from you. So let's get this framework locked down now. It's all about zero tolerance today. We need these timbers as flush as physically possible. I'm driving heavy duty support screws straight into the main timber bands. You cannot just trust the factory metal alone. The chassis breathes, it flexes. We need absolute rigidity. I'm throwing a 6-foot level across the face of these battens. We are hunting for a wobble. Any daylight between the level, then we stop, we pack it out, grab the plastic packers, never use cardboard or scrap wood that holds the moisture, and shim it to perfection. Now once it's plumb, we're going to be blasting some expanding foam into every single microscopic gap. Why? 2 reasons. 1, structural adhesive power, and 2, killing the thermal bridging. When we eventually slap on the cladding, this skeleton will be immovable. And Rowan's on site today as always, my beautiful black English working Cocker Spaniel. She's currently running quality control on the insulation pile. Good girl, Rowan. Back to work. Now we hit a massive roadblock. The front of the van, right above the cab. We need a solid continuous length of timber screwed directly into the metal rib to carry the ceiling load. The problem is zero clearance. My impact driver absolutely will not fit. It's a dead zone. I managed to force a single screw into the far left and the far right corner, but then I found the centre was sagging a little bit when I put the straight edge across. That's totally unacceptable. So we had to change tactics slightly. So I ran my level through to strike a dead straight baseline. Bit by bit, we wedged the timber into place. Well, here is where the magic happens. I cut a custom wedge set to the exact drop height of the timber batten. I loaded the back of the timber with some high strength instant grab, then drove the wedges in and made sure it was tight, so that when that glue goes off, it'd be absolutely rock solid in the morning. Now, a quick pro tip for you. I always cut my wedges slightly oversized to force the compression upwards. But this time, I actually went a little bit too big. It wouldn't quite sit right. Instead of risking splitting the wood, I pulled out and cut a steep aggressive angle, like a wedge. Then I drove it back in and then slowly ramped it up. And this applied the massive pressure that was needed and locked the timber tightlier than a screw ever could. Now before we move to the back doors, I want to know your setup. What is your ultimate, undisputed go-to adhesive for bonding stud work to bare metal? Are you using solvent-based grip fill, polyurethane, a hybrid polymer? Drop the exact brand in the comments below. I'm testing a new batch next week and I want to hear your recommendations. We let that cure overnight. I pulled the wedges out this morning and it is bulletproof. I could literally hang off it. Look, figuring out these exact clearances, angles and fixing methods takes a massive amount of trial and error. I am logging every single measurement, every material spec and every headache saving trick of this entire project. I am compiling it all into the ultimate Peugeot Boxer 2007 build PDF blueprint. Now I am writing this blueprint live right now as the build progresses. The very second the van is finished, the book drops. If you want this, you can click the link in the description right now and join the VIP waitlist. If you are on that email list, you will be the absolute first to get the complete step-by-step PDF for a massive steal of just around 99p at launch. So get on that list, the link's below, and let's get back to the back doors. So now the front is locked. Now we tackle the back timber on the rear of the rib of the door. This is a totally different game. The metalwork here isn't just curved, it's contoured in multiple directions. We can't just pack this out, we have to scribe it. We throw a level across the adjacent timbers to strike our master straight line. Then we transfer the line into the metalwork to show exactly where the final face of the timber needs to sit. We need to measure the maximum width and cut the raw timber to length and offer it up to the metalwork. If it rocks back and forth, it's a terrible fit, that's expected. So we take out our compass, we set it to the widest gap and we run it down the metalwork, the exact topography of the van onto the wood. We measure the angles left and right, dead centre. We draw a heavy pencil line for our perfect scribe. When you are prepping for your installation, remember your core thermodynamics. Thermal resistance of your setup is dedicated by the maximum thickness of your PIR board or Celotex board behind these battens to fight the thermal conductivity. If your timbers are too shallow, your insulation is too thin and you freeze. We are cutting these scribes deep enough to sit flush but thick enough to house some serious R-value insulation. Right, so the rough cut is complete. Now we need to test fit it. I want to be completely honest with you. Scribing usually is a complete nightmare. You cut, you test, you recut, you sand, you sweat. But this one went perfectly on the very first try. The contour matched flawlessly. So we didn't mess around. We hit the back of the timber with some heavy blobs of grip fill adhesive and we drove a high torque self-tapping screw straight through the meat of the wood and into the steel rib. And the job was a good one. We also put an extra bead of grip fill along the top of the timber because why not? It's not going to hurt anything. But we don't leave anything to chance. While the adhesive is still wet, it can shift. I took out my heavy duty spirit level, jammed it in the dead centre against the timber, wedged it against the floor of the van. Believe it or not, it was the exact perfect length to act as a massive structural clamp. We threw a couple more scrap timbers on the left and on the right flanks to distribute the pressure. So double checking the bubble with dead centre, straight as an arrow. Obviously it's on the piss a little bit, so it's not going to be level, come on. So we just let it cure. The framework is all locked in for the ceiling. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.